Alrighty. Alright, so, hello. We're going to be learning about food webs today. So this is the first part of the two-part series. Alright, so food webs, bunch of fun. I put some pictures of, there's Simba eating the maggot, or the, whatever, that gummy worm. Now then you got Monstro eating Pinocchio and Geppetto, and that's kind of sad. Sorry, my handwriting's awful. I'm writing with the clicker. Okay, so food webs. A food web is essentially like a diagram or map to kind of show the hierarchy of the living world. Okay, so it's usually like a pyramid. But then there's like all these different kind of diagrams. So, but what it is, it's completely about food, because it's a food web. Okay? So you have two main areas. Okay, you have autotrophs and heterotrophs. Okay, autotrophs are always at the bottom. Okay? They're the producers. They're called autotrophs because they make their food automatically. Okay, autotrophs. Alright, like plants, they, for one, they use photosynthesis with the sun, and they get their food that way. Some bacteria, they go through like chemical stuff, but pretty much how it is autotrophs make their own food. They don't have to eat other organisms in order to gain energy. Okay. Heterotrophs, on the other hand, do have to get energy in alternate means. Okay, so heterotrophs have to eat other organisms in order to survive. Okay, so how it goes is you have the producers at the bottom, which are like little bacteria. Okay, and they are the food for everybody. They kind of got the short end of the stick on that one. But then the next tier up is the primary consumers. Okay, so primary, like in Latin, primus means one. Okay, so it's the first tier. Okay, so the primary consumers are the ones who eat the producers. Okay, they don't eat like bigger animals. They don't eat things that are higher up on the food chain. You only eat what's below you. Okay, so you have primary consumers, and then you have a secondary consumer who, as you could probably guess, eats the primary consumers. Okay, so following this pattern, you can only eat what's below you. Okay, because if you have like a hippo, that's nice, but you're not going to see a hippo chowing down on an elephant. Okay, because elephants are a lot higher on the food chain. Okay, and that just doesn't work that way. So how it goes is you eat what's below you. Okay, it doesn't mean you only eat what's directly below you. Like, secondary consumers can eat both primary consumers and producers. You can eat anything that's below you, alright? And then it keeps on going. So then you have tertiary, which is the third level, and then, quaternary, fourth level, alright? So you can keep going, alright? So it's pretty much the same diagram. It's just saying, producers are the ones who produce the food, and consumers are the ones who consume the food. Okay, so producers use the sun's energy, and then the consumers have to eat. That's the big thing. Okay, producers make their own energy, and consumers have to eat other organisms in order to get energy. So now here's a little diagram for you. Okay, my own land before time. All right, so here's this food diagram. Okay, you have the producers, or the tree stars. Okay? Whereas most dinosaurs just eat them. I believe Littlefoot wears it like a blanket. Interesting little fella. So yeah, you have the producers, so the tree stars, okay, and they are eaten by, all the other dinosaurs, okay? So, primarily the primary consumers over here. Okay? So, our primary consumers are our heroes. Okay? You know them very well. Just kind of keep in mind that, look at Ducky's mouth and Petrie's beak. None of these guys really have teeth. because none of these guys are really like eating other, they don't need to like rip flesh, or they don't need to eat other animals. How it goes is they eat the plants, and that's how they survive. Okay. And then following this diagram, you have the secondary consumers, who are the velociraptors and the beaked dinosaurs. Who kind of, they're the ones who like steal the eggs. Like, who does that? That's kind of sick. But yeah. So I mean, mind you, look at the velociraptor's teeth. I mean, those are some chompers. But because they are made to eat other dinosaurs. Okay. So mind you, just kind of a side note, how the arrows work. See how each stage is pointing to the next. Okay, so like how this works. How the arrows go is where the arrow starts. Whichever direction the arrow is going to, that's like whichever belly the first thing is going to. So like the tree stars are going into the belly of Petrie, and Sarah is going into the belly of the velociraptors. Okay, so that's how it flows. And then, of course, the third and top tier is the sharp tooths. I mean, crap. Look at those things. I mean, look at those teeth. Holy cow. So yeah, so it's kind of just, just a pyramidal kind of deal. Oh, just a side note, Sarah, this little girl, the Triceratops, her name is actually spelled C-E-R-A, like Ceratops. That's punny. I always thought it was like Sarah, like a person. Sorry, just a little fun fact. Okay, so now that I'm gonna go into like layers or diagrams with you, okay? So there's producers, we've gone over those producers, primary, consumers, secondary, tertiary, quaternary. Okay, so you're gonna see a lot of arrows, and that's pretty much normal. Okay, so just remember, the direction of the arrow points to the stomach of who you're going into. Okay, like the insects are going into the tummy of the rat, rats go into the tummy of the snake, then the snake goes into the tummy of the hawk. Okay? But there are multiple ways to show this, and some of them are kind of confusing, but just as like, everyone does things a different way, people draw these maps in very different ways. So I'll show you a few different ways to do so. I mean, here's one example. I mean, it just has pictures with arrows. So it's really simple, gets the point across, grass goes to deer. Bunny goes to fox. So it's just a very simple diagram. Okay, so here's like a few very different diagrams. Okay, figure 1. It's got a lot of arrows, very heavy on the directions, but I mean, it's not like too much. Like, you can follow it. So as you go again, you go the turtle, snapping turtle goes to the humans. Oh, look at that, humans on the top. Wanna know why? 'Cause we're the king. Woo! Okay, but yeah, so I mean, you have like, what is it, bacteria and fungi, good invertebrates. Okay, so it shows the hierarchy, even though it's not on a pyramid. Okay, and then figure 2 is a more visual kind of diagram. So you have the seaweed into the fish to the bird. They're just trying to make it easier on you, so you can just kind of see how this flows. Okay, so that was figure 2, and then figure 3 has no pictures, no visual representation, but I mean, look, you can still figure out what does what. You just follow the arrows. So that's just the main thing, is if you can figure out what the arrows mean, and all that. Yeah, but there are. Okay, I'll just show you. Look at this crap. What? I mean, this one right here just looks like a hurricane of dots. I mean, these are also food webs, but I mean, these are just ridiculous. I just typed it up so I can show you that, not all of them are visually pleasing. Some of these are just really complex, but I mean, you don't need to look at these two. I mean, this is just like as an extreme example. Okay, so yeah. Sheesh. So yeah, I'll be doing another one on biomes and post that up as well. Alrighty. Nah. Alrighty. So I will see you soon.